Homeschool 2. This presentation is going to give you an outline for a lesson that's a modification of the Tatum reading lesson, which is a little more sophisticated and designed for the kids with the severest problems in reading. 1.5% of our population has severe problems, and they will probably need more than this, but generally this approach should work with a majority of students who are just having phonics problems. Okay, it's just 4 parts to the lesson. One is the saying of the sounds. The teacher says the sounds, or parent, and the child will echo and point to the sound. The next is the teacher points to the sound, or parent, and the child will read the sounds. Then we have spelling words that are taken from the reading. So we just pick the phonetic words, 6 or 8 from the reading, and the child will echo the word and say the sounds. And then we go into the reading approach, which will follow pressure release as on the videos, and will also involve beat the clock and repeated readings. So let's start with the lesson. So you want movable letters. You can get the movable letters at any toy store. You can make them and put them on small little cards, any way you want to do it for movable letters. But you'll start by having all the sounds that the child knows. Now keep in mind, if a child's further along, you'll start with cleaning up all the consonants, the vowels and teams, and maybe our family. Clean up means just make sure they're saying them right. But often you're going to be starting with the sounds that correlate with the book. So let's say the book is dealing with consonants and short vowels. So for spelling sounds, you're going to say it like B, and the child will go B, and K, the child will K, and the second K, D, the child will point to D, P, the child will point to P. Now, if a child has a BD problem, which most do, you can use this for bed, but at D, it looks like a bed, and they hold this up when they're having trouble reading and match the B or the D, okay, or D, okay? So you basically are saying the sounds. Make sure the child echoes and points. Parents will often forget that. Make sure they echo the sound, otherwise it's a waste of time. So you want to hear rrr when you say it, and you want the child to echo it. You want to hear ks, and then when the child points to it, that you want to hear him say clearly ks. So saying sounds, the child echoes while they point. Step 2 is you're basically pointing to the sound, and the child will say it. So you are rapidly pointing to sounds they know, and they're going k, f, g, h, p. We want to make it quicker and quicker so it's automatic. I, ah. I'll go real quick. I, ah. Make sure you have those sounds clearly. It as an it, as an echo, as an ax, as an up, as an odd. Make sure the child has those sounds clearly articulated. Okay. Now we go to spelling. Now, if the book is, let's say, like the Vans, notice I have what consonants they needed for the book, and those would be on movable letters, just like I've done here. And again, you can get those anywhere. The spelling words I'll pull for phonetic words, and I list the phonetic words that are coming up, and I'll use 6 or 8. And the child will basically echo the word. So if I say, okay, we're going to spell the word bat, the child will go bat, b, a, t, bat. Good. The next word is cat, and the child will go k, a, t, cat. Ran, r, a, n, ran. So they'll echo the word, say the sounds, and then say the word. Notice we're not saying letter names. Letter names do not correlate to the sounds. We're saying the sounds, okay? That's the 3rd part of the lesson. So far, we would have been taking maybe 15 minutes. 5 minutes for saying and reading the sounds, and maybe 8 to 10 minutes in spelling. We're now at reading. So for reading, you want to go look at pressure release and beat the clock, which is done at the end of your reading. And then later on in that night, you want to do the repeated readings. So you'll be following that technique of beat the clock. Now, the only variation, if you have a beginning reader who's at the very beginning, in Mood Nog, or at the very beginning in the Sullivan Reading Series, or the Phoenix Reading Series, program series. If you are at the very beginning of that, you'll often have them repeat sentences they struggled with. That's the only variation. So if they struggle with the and is at the at arc park, you'll have the child then repeat that, reread that. Okay. So this is a basic organization of a lesson that will help you gain a lot of progress with your child. So again, 5 minutes, 10, good 20 to 30 minutes here. And then you might end with a 2-sentence written response initially with a little summary. And summaries aid in the process. You might look at the rule of thumb, which talks about some comprehension and other ideas for the program.